Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Gonzalez back this week to talk to you about listening. Thank you for joining us once more. Let's get right into this. I want to do a little exercise with you to see how well you're paying attention, because I am going to ask you to answer a question based on what I share with you. Okay, so pay attention, listen closely. If you see Missy, tell her to pick up the 2 poodles and the Cocker Spaniel as she usually does after school. But today, she must also pick up a shepherd named Sam, 4 terriers, all named Joanne, and a Great Dane named Tiny. Ready for my question? How many dogs in total does Missy have to pick up after school? Having a hard time answering? Well, I'll tell you, Missy should pick up a total of 9 dogs. And if you struggle to answer, why do you think that was? Hopefully you can see that active listening requires more than just hearing what's being shared with you. It requires that you pay attention to what is being said, understand it, and then remember it. Active listening is important to be successful not only in school, but in your relationships with friends, family, and your community. Active listening is part of a greater concept that's communication. In order for communication to happen, it takes at least 2 people to be speaking and listening, right? So there's those 2 components there. And one person is basically sending the message, the other person is receiving it. That's the gist of it. So I want to show you an example from the Big Bang Theory to illustrate how important active listening is. And you tell me if in this example, communication is taking place. So it should be funny if you've ever seen the show, so hopefully you enjoy it. Let me replay that.
First there was PlayStation, aka PS1. Then there's PS2, PS3, and now PS4. And that makes sense. You'd think after Xbox, there'd be Xbox 2. But no. Next came Xbox 360. And now, after 360, comes Xbox One. Why one? Maybe that's how many seconds of thought we put into naming it.
Can you get the butter, please?
However, with the Xbox One, I can control my entire entertainment system using voice commands. Up until now, I've had to use Leonard.
Then get the other one. Pass the butter.
Hang on. I don't feel like you're taking this dilemma seriously.
Fine, Sheldon. You have my undivided attention.
Okay, now, the PS4 is more angular and sleek looking.
No way!
It's true. But the larger size of the Xbox One may keep it from overheating.
You wouldn't want your gaming system to overheat?
No, see, well, you absolutely would not. And then furthermore, the Xbox One now comes with a Kinect included.
Included?
Yes. Not sold separately. Although the PS4 uses cool new GDDR5 RAM, while the Xbox One is still using the conventional DDR3 memory.
Why would they still be using DDR3? Are they nuts?
See, that's what I thought. But then they go and throw in an ES RAM buffer.
Oh, wait a second. Who's they?
The Xbox.
You're kidding!
No, I am not. And this ES RAM buffer should totally bridge the 100 gigabit per second bandwidth gap between the 2 RAM types.
This is a nightmare. How will you ever make a decision?
See, I don't know. What should I do?
Please pass the butter!
So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that? Was Amy just hearing what Sheldon was saying, or was she really listening to what he was saying? If you thought that she wasn't listening, I would 100% agree with you. If Amy wasn't listening, right? So we get rid of our listener here. Then did communication really take place? Nope, it didn't. All we had is basically Sheldon talking, right? And he was being heard, but not listened to. So I hope that you can see how important active listening is. And knowing this, it kind of begs the next question of how you can improve your listening skills to be more effective in your communication. So here are 3 ways that can get you started on improving your listening skills. The first thing that you'll want to do is focus. So you can focus your attention on the speaker, let the person know that you're listening. And how can you do this? Remember from last week's SEL Spotlight on nonverbal communication? Well, you can let the other person know that you're listening by making eye contact and nodding. You can also show that you're focusing by not doing something else or by not interrupting. The other thing that you can do is confirm what you're hearing, what's being said. Confirm that you're listening. You can do this by repeating parts of what the other person says or by summarizing what's been said. You can also repeat or summarize silently to yourself. And then lastly, you can respond. And this means responding to the speaker in some way to show that you have heard and understood what has been said. You might ask questions, make comments, or continue the conversation. In the example that we saw with Amy and Sheldon, we saw that Amy was superficially responding by repeating the last phrase or the last words that Sheldon was sharing. I'm confident that if we asked her what the conversation was about, she would remember very little to none of it. And in addition to listening carefully, it's important to think about what you're hearing, right? So I encourage you to work on your listening skills for the remainder of the day, remainder of the week, and see if it helps you communicate better. And keep in mind the following points. Being an active listener is a key to good communication. To listen actively, focus your attention on the speaker, confirm what you hear, and respond to what is said. Okay? So I do want to thank you very much for watching this week's SEL Spotlight on listening. I hope that you found this information today useful to you. This is Mrs. Gonzalez signing off.